You don't let him to play in calm situation and these freaking rules and playing biddies regularly. I mean, they make draw. I mean, what is this? They make draw. The game is over.
That was Alireza Firouzja's brother, Mohammad Reza, reacting to a really controversial event from the January 2021 Tata Steel tournament. So what happened and why has it led to Firouzja not playing in the 2022 tournament? Here's everything you need to know in 5 minutes. So going into the final round of the 21 tournament, Firouzja was just half a point behind Giri, who was the sole leader. So if he won this game, he could go joint first. And even if he couldn't then go into the playoffs because of a bad Sonborn-Berger tiebreak rule, he could still go joint first, matching Magnus's achievement as a 17-year-old at Vaikanze. He could also get catapulted to number 11 in the world, and he'd take clear third place prize money. So there was still a lot to play for. But the arbiters came over and intervened, asking him to move boards around move 60-ish because they wanted to play the Giri Van Forest playoff in the area of the room where those two players were playing. And to give you a sense of how bad the timing was on this, I want to briefly show you this game between Firouzja and Radoslav so you can understand how bad that timing was. So Firouzja had white here. He has a commanding position, as we can see, with the bishops and the pawns. And here he actually plays rook a to c1, offering this exchange. It's not taken immediately, but soon it will be. Now he wins a pawn like this. And now we have the knight jumping in. The rook takes here, the knight takes here, the rook recaptures. So Firouzja is given the exchange, but he has two pawns in compensation and a completely commanding position. I'm just going to whiz through these moves now and we'll see how he builds up this advantage slowly, improving the bishops, improving the rook and king. And we get to this critical position here where the bishop has remaneuvered now around the board to this c3 square. And soon Firouzja will be winning yet another pawn here, as we can see. And very, very soon, Firouzja will be getting disturbed by the arbiters. So it was this position here after queen d7 where we can already see him getting really frustrated, as you can see in this clip here. And completely distracted, he now makes an inferior move already by playing queen g3 and leaving this pawn. He is playing now for developing this bishop, but better than this would have been something like king h3, just holding that pawn for now and giving the move over to black. They're both in time trouble at this point, of course. We're coming up to move 60, but this was played. The bishop came to c3 now, the queen to d1, rook d2, queen b1, and the players reached the time control of move 60. And it was at this point that the arbiters actually made them move boards, play their game out elsewhere, and Firouzja went instantly wrong. So here he played queen to f4, throwing away his advantage because it walks straight into e5. And the problem is that after you capture that pawn, it allows black to simplify the position and get that light squared bishop off the board. The pawn recaptures, and now the players agree to draw here because the rook is now going to be moving away and white just can't hold on to these chronically weak pawns. The black pieces are so much more active now. What Firouzja needed to play in this position to carry on trying for the win was something like bishop to e5, keeping that pawn blocked, keeping this bishop out of the game and keeping black tied up. But he missed the play like this. He only drew the game and he was hugely annoyed, and it caused a lot of controversy in the chess community because it begged the question, would another player of a different kind of calibre who wasn't so young have been asked to move board, someone like Magnus or Garry Kasparov of the past? So the tournament organisers recognised after the fact that they shouldn't have asked Firouzja to move boards, and they did apologise to him, but there's some controversy that rumbled on because then Firouzja was seeking some compensation for this, but the tournament organisers refused to pay that out, or at least no agreement has been reached in time for this year's event anyway. So a real tragedy for all of us chess fans, but hopefully this thing can be resolved for future years so that we do see Firouzja in action there once again. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's always great to hear everyone's opinions on this. And in the meantime, I guess we'll just have to look forward to the Rapid and Blitz World Championship, which starts on Boxing Day this year, 26th of December. So I look forward to covering that. Thanks for watching and speak to you all soon.